Hello and welcome. My name is Kathy A, and you have already seen my favorites for January video, hopefully. And so now this is my flops for January. The video would have been so long that I had to divide it into two parts. And these are all of the things that I didn't like or I had a problem with. So one of you mentioned that the music was quite distracting in the background, because I like to play like guitar music or blues music or something in the background. I don't know if you can hear it out there, but I usually put the music on because I live near a very noisy parking lot, and I have a noisy building with people shouting at each other and kids running and screaming and stuff. So I tend to put a little bit of music to kind of tone down the background. But some of you are finding that the music's distracting, so we'll try this one without the music, and you can hear there's lots of stuff going on. Anyway, this is sort of a future me video because I filmed this about a week ago. I think it was on the 1st of January, so it's been a couple weeks since I filmed this originally. So I'm just going to kind of interject because I had just started my diet. I was in my work clothes, and I was just I didn't cover everything. So but one thing I want to cover is something that I said I wasn't too sure about, and somebody had commented on. It was the Cinema Secrets Makeup Brush Cleaner. They had commented, they said, why are you still talking about this? It's dangerous. And I thought, it is? You know, and I thought, that's not good. And so I researched, and this is award-winning. It's, I mean, you're not supposed to drink the stuff, you know. I mean, you dip your brush in one time and you wipe off your brush. Some people like to rinse off their brush afterwards. You don't need to with this, but it's an extra security thing. You can't dunk your brush in like all the way up because it will dissolve the glue that holds the hairs in. So I think Cinema Secrets Lemon Brush Cleaner is really good, and it's very effective. Now I wash my brushes officially with either a Zote soap, or I'll use a glycerin soap. I'm using a glycerin soap right now that's Dynamite. And I pour a little bit of Dawn into a small cup, and for the really stubborn stuff I will dip it into the Dawn and scrub it by hand a little bit and then rub it on a mat. But I mean, I just want to go over this again because somebody commented, and I always take my comments seriously. Somebody said that this was dangerous and it was like paint thinner, and I thought, well, it may seem that way. It's very, very effective, very strong. It's really good. I mean, you literally just dip your brush in there, or you wipe off your brush on a paper towel. I wait about maybe 20 seconds or so, and it's dry and it's ready to use for the next color. So it does say that it is a skin and eye irritant, so that might be the part that's concerning. But I like the smell, the lemon smell. I think it's quite nice. So I just wanted to say that, even though it's at the beginning of my flops video. Yeah. And also, thank you for having my back. I guess somebody made kind of a crass comment, and you all just got on her. You were all up in her face. Thank you so much for that. So I'm so sorry. This is going to be like a negative kind of video. It's just the products that did not work for me, the products I hated, things that didn't go well. And I couldn't fit this video stuff into my last video, which was faves of just January. I usually do faves and flops of a month, and it's usually around an hour long. This would have pushed it way over the edge. So sadly, there's so many bad things for January, but I tried a lot more makeup than usual this month because other influencers influenced me. So that's why there's so many flops. So this segment actually are all of the things I don't like, and this is so I can return them. I'm like there's a lot of them here, so I just want to bring it to your attention. The first thing that I'm really not crazy about, this is the Herbal Essences Volume Hairspray, and it's in a beautiful orange scent. And I thought, oh, this is great. And I had so much luck with the Rave drugstore hairspray that I thought I would try this. It really, it hardens your hair. And you can't move your hair. It's like a unit. It's a unit. And it feels like you could break your hair off if you move it too much. So this was a total fail. Herbal Essences Volume Hairspray. In the shower, I had talked about this for years. This is the MIZON Apple Smoothie Peeling Gel. It's a gommage, which is kind of exfoliant. It's an exfoliant. So you basically take a little blob, and on a washed clean face, you basically, you know, take this blob and you spread it around. You count to about 10 so that it can sink in with its pear extract and, I don't know, apple pear extract or something. And then when you start swirling, it picks up all of the dead skin, supposedly. This worked for me for years, and I think they've changed the formula because it didn't work. I compared to my sex appeal stuff from Sonia Roselli, this is just not doing anything at all. I was so disappointed, you know, and the price did go up too, besides. So the MIZON Apple Smoothie Peeling Gel, I'm going to have to say it's a big fail. Big fail. So now I feel like, wow, maybe I should put a warning on all those older videos where I talked so well about it, because it was not as expensive as a lot of other exfoliators, and it works really well. So they definitely did something to change the formulation, because it does not work at all. At all. I was like, whoa. I tried using this, and then I put my Sonia Roselli on afterwards, and my Sonia Roselli picked up a whole bunch of stuff. So I know it's not working. That's too bad. As of January 1st, I did start a new sensible eating and a little bit of exercise plan, cut out sugar, started with allulose as my sugar substitute sweetener, the one that goes in my coffee and stuff. And I thought I would try this Atkins Dark Chocolate Royal drink, and I thought I would heat it up like hot chocolate and use my 0-calorie whipped cream with it and have a nice treat in the evening, but it just tastes like chemistry, just like it does when it's cold. Chemistry. I just couldn't even get it down, and I really enjoy like a hot chocolate, and there's reduced calories and, you know, 0-calorie hot chocolate mixes, but I just thought I would try this because it's got all the extra protein units in it and calcium, and it was a big fail, unfortunately. It's just a chemistry lab. I'm probably released before this video. I probably released it. I did a full face of e.l.f. Cosmetics, and I used this. This is the new Hydrating Camo cream, and e.l.f. face products just have not worked for me. They look rough. You know, and if you have texture and wrinkles, they look rough. After about an hour, everything kind of sinks in, and it doesn't look good. And I know some people have raved about this one, saying, oh, it's different than the other one. Yeah, it is different. Than the other one was super dry and cakey, really bad. This is still, when it dries, it's still got that kind of sandpaper look to it. And you have to get really close to see it, which, you know, this is better than the original Camo CC cream, but it is still, e.l.f. products and facial products just don't work on me. And I have dry skin, and I have, although I'm doing good skincare, I still have dry skin, and it gathers around the nose, it gathers in the St. Bernard gels, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. Now the Satin e.l.f., this is the Flawless Face Foundation. I got it in buff, and this worked fairly well. Again, though, after about an hour or so, it looks rough, and it's hard to explain it any other way. It just looks patchy after it's dried down and I've gone through part of my work day. And I used to talk, you know, this up, but maybe, you know, 10 years ago, my skin was very different 10 years ago, so maybe that's the difference. But I think any of the e.l.f. face products that I've tried, the foundations that I've tried, have not worked for me at all. And this one is no exception. Even though it was only $6, it still didn't work well enough. Initially, it applied really nicely. I thought, oh, good, I can say something nice about this. And at work, I went into the bathroom at noontime, like I always do, to check the makeup and everything, and I was like, ugh, and I was patting in, you know, the lines up in here. It broke apart. There was little patches that you could see my pores. I mean, it just, e.l.f. foundations don't work for aging dry skin. Okay, there, I said it. Unpopular opinion maybe, I don't know, but if you have oily skin or normal skin, you probably love it. I have dry skin, textured skin, and I hate it. CATRICE had an under eye cream. Everybody was talking about this one. So I went out and got it because I'm influenced by influencers, just like you are. And it has this light pink, very, very creamy. And I thought, oh, this is going to be great. I love it. It's perfect. And then by the time I got to the rest of my makeup and I was going to put concealer on, I'm like, oh, I got to tap this in because it's just right into the lines and bunched up on all my little dry patches. And it continued to do so. It was like, almost like it was alive. It kept going back into the lines. I'm like, okay, so CATRICE, this pink under eye corrector was a fail. For powders, I went back to an old friend. This is the RIMMEL Stay Matte powder. I don't know why I thought it would work for me now, but it seemed to work back then. Maybe I was just, you know, drinking the Kool-Aid. If you have oily skin, you probably love this powder. The packaging is still just as cheap as it always was. I wouldn't mind paying a little bit more for better packaging, RIMMEL, just so you know. But this didn't work for me at all. It looked very cakey on. So again, you know, 10 years ago, I must have had different skin. That's all I can think. I had different skin because this looks terrible. Oh my gosh. Yeah, not good for textured dry skin. Matte. Stay Matte from RIMMEL. Future me again. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand why I thought it would be a good idea to get that particular powder again. But I mean, I tried it so many different ways. I used it lightly with a puffy brush. I tried pressing it in just in certain places. Nope, dry as the Sahara Desert. Okay, e.l.f. These sold out everywhere, and I could only get these two colors, and then there was one darker color that I knew would be a really bad choice. So this is kind of a coral color, and this is a pink color. The colors are called this is Coral Crush, and then this one is Pinky Promise. So they both look pretty much identical on the face. One's supposed to be, I have one on one side and one on the other side. Can you see a difference? They both look about the same. It's very hard to maneuver this. You need the teeniest little tap of this, and it blends out like a nightmare. It grabs in any dry patches, and it can look very awkward very quickly. I found it challenging to blend it so that it would look natural and would look nice and would stay within the boundaries that I want my blush to stay. I I actually didn't like this. And it looked pretty because I got the right amount on there, and I actually worked it with my fingers to get the best control over where it's going. It's just a tiny little dot of it, you know, like a needle point. It was, but it's so pigmented that it's not fun. For one thing, it's not fun to apply, and then when you get it on there, it's really hard. Most people I have seen on YouTube putting it on, it looks like they've been slapped upside the head, you know, and it just, and even this to me is too much. It's too much, and I controlled it. It was just a tiny little tab. This one, out of the two, this one looked patchier on, and it just grabs. If you've got texture on your skin, it grabs onto it, and it makes bunchy edges. It's hard to get a smooth edge with it. So I didn't like it, and I've seen ladies on YouTube putting it on. It doesn't look good on them either. It's like Emperor's new clothes. Everybody's going, oh, it's beautiful, and I'm like, no, it's not beautiful. I don't like it. Now, since I threw the e.l.f. Camo blush, liquid blushes under the bus, I actually purchased the Peach Perfect shade. This is the lightest shade. I'm wearing it today. I love this shade, and it works really nicely even with this messed up over pigmentation formulation. I love this. It was beautiful. It looks nice on. It works really well. I'm going to get the Dusty Pink too, or Dusty Rose. It's just slightly darker than this one, because those deeper, darker shades that I talked about earlier, those really just look like splattered messes on my face. And you know, I've been doing makeup now for about 50 years, since I was, you know, preteen actually. So more than 50 years I've been putting makeup on, and I have tried every possible type of blush, you know, from shooting it out of a cannon to, you know, I've tried everything. And I couldn't make those other blushes work in those shades, but I could make this one work really nicely, and I like it. So the Peach Perfect shade of the e.l.f. is excellent, really excellent. Revlon had a lot of fails. This one was their eyeliner pencil, the Colorstay eyeliner pencil. I saw another YouTuber doing a Revlon face, and she used this as her tight liner, you know, an under eye tight liner, and she said this worked really nicely. So I thought, oh, I'll try it because it's Revlon. And this is the color Black Brown. It did not in any way, shape, or form stay. Once I put it up underneath the eye, it didn't stay there. It was like, this didn't work. It was expensive. So Revlon was a fail. Also, e.l.f. This is the No-Budge Retractable Eyeliner. It budged. It budged. I don't know, maybe if you put it on the top, you know, it's going to be a better fix for it, but honestly, it did not work as a tight liner for sure. I didn't think it really looked all that great at all. I didn't think it had that much pigmentation, and you couldn't use it as a tight liner either. So I'm like, this is not a good eyeliner choice. These things went viral. This is a black brown and the black shade of the liquid eyeliner from LA Colors. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's a wimpy, thin, long brush tip on that, and it's not very sturdy. So when you try to line over wrinkly, ruffly eyelids, if you're over 50, it doesn't hit all the spots. It's not strong enough to go through the whole thing. So you gotta really pull your eye up and try to do it that way. It makes a thin line, I'll give it that, but it's not strong enough. So this was a fail for me, and that's really too bad. I did an e.l.f. face, a full face of e.l.f. makeup recently, and several of the items in there did not please me. What is this? The Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. It didn't really help with my pores. It didn't really help with texture. It didn't help my makeup stay on. I've tried it over a couple of weeks now with different foundations and concealers and stuff, and it's not working very well at all for me. So I did use this in the demo for e.l.f. and I didn't mention it, but I thought I'd mention it now. All right, controversy here. This is the Panorama mascara from L'Oreal. First of all, I want to say that this side of my face, I do have it on. It makes a beautiful, beautiful, voluminous, long lash. Initially, it looks beautiful. And I thought at first, after the first couple of days I tested this, I thought this was going to be my new favorite mascara. It's $16. It is priced a little high. It's L'Oreal. I had a really stressful day at work yesterday. And when I came home, this mascara had left dings all over my upper lid. It is not good in heat or humidity, and it's a fail for that reason. But if you live in a cold, dry climate, this is your mascara. But if you have any type of heat, humidity, if you tear up, this is not good. So it did fail for that reason. But initially I thought, wow, what a beautiful lash this gave me. But I can't recommend this when it leaves dings. And I mean a lot of dings. A lot, like a cheap, like one of the Essence mascaras does, you know, a lot of dings up here. Now, if you have a hooded eye, that's where you're going to see it. It did not underneath smudge or anything, but on the top, it hit my area up here, and there was all these little black marks from this mascara. So, unfortunately, it's a fail. Revlon. This is the Illuminance Skin Tint. I have it on this side of my face. I did not do well with the Revlon Illuminance, the original one. Now this is the tint, and this is shade 201, Creamy Natural. It was a perfect shade match. There wasn't, you know, initially it went on really nice. I thought, oh, this might work since the Illuminance did not. But there's no coverage, and then what coverage you do get goes right into your lines and grabs onto your dry patches. So the Revlon Illuminance Skin Tint was not a good choice for me. It didn't work. Texture, dry skin, older person, this didn't work. And I know other mature beauty creators like this, but they have oily skin or normal combination skin, and that makes a huge difference when you're talking about foundation. So if you have dry skin and texture, this is not your foundation. Not so happy. Il Makiage. I talked about this last month in December, I think, because it was a big fail in December. But I wanted to give it a chance because they were such a nice company, and they gave me a full refund, and they let me keep it, So I thought I would try to work it. Maybe I thought working with some moisturizer, working some oil, face oil in with it. I tried it different ways. I tried it with a sponge, with a brush, with my fingers. I tried it mixing it with one of my concealers. I tried mixing it with one of my other foundations, my MAC Studio. I can't make it work. So this is a dead duck. I tell you, it's a dead soldier here. Il Makiage, and it was a perfect match for me. I absolutely loved the match. They sent it right away. The packaging was nice. The customer service was excellent. But it was just not a good product for dry, textured skin, and they just advertise that this is what it's good for. But I think it's really good if you have normal to oily skin and not a lot of texture, because it didn't seem to help out there. And I tried it again today, and I feel really blotchy today. I feel blotchy. Now this was the disappearing blush. I've never seen anything like this. This is the Revlon Gel Serum Blush, and I got the shade 110. Let's see what the color is called. It is called Enchanting Mauve. Enchanting Mauve. I'm just going to put a little blob here. It's a liquid blush, and I'm just going to smooth it out. Do you see it? It's like very faint tint of color. It says Superfood Complex Glycerin Gel Serum Blush. It's the Illuminance, Revlon Illuminance. This did nothing but, it was a hot shiny mess. All I saw was shininess, hardly any color. It was a waste of money, a waste of money. Oh my gosh. e.l.f. repackaged all of their larger, these are the $10 palettes, and there's no mirror with this one. This is just your basic neutral all over palette. It's a different formula from these guys, and you know, these guys aren't the greatest formula to begin with, but this is even less. There was not a whole lot of pigmentation to this, and this is another disappearing act combination. It just didn't, I mean, it's perfect for neutral eyes. I live with stuff like this. I love this kind of thing, but it did not perform as well as even these did. And to me, for $10, this wasn't worth it. You know, if you're not going to reach for it and it's not working for you, and I'd rather get 3 of these for $9 than 1 of these for $10, and I'll get the colors that perform a little bit better with these little ones. So the e.l.f. and this one is the Nude Mood. Perfect 10 eyeshadow in Nude Mood. This one did not work for me, but I love the little ones. The little ones are great. This is a fail because it went out of business. This is UOMA, and I had just given it my brow product of the year this past December, last month. And I was watching Jen Loves, and she said that they sold, UOMA was sold to 2 white guys, and they're canceling out their drugstore line. So these are no more. So I think that was kind of a fail. That's too bad. It really is. My goodness. So last but not least, I had asked you in my positive video, my faves video, if you think I should keep this lipstick shade. It's called Business Casual, and it's a rather kind of a rusty red shade. And I had it on, and you know, it's very, very, it's a rust, and it doesn't, it's very harsh on me, and it makes my lips look very pursed and small. And so I wasn't sure, because under the studio lights, it actually looked kind of good, you know. And I was asking you, and it kind of unanimously, a few of you thought it looked nice. I thought you were being really polite to me. But most of you agreed with me that this puppy's going back. Now this color I'm wearing is actually Sea Sheer. It's in the same formulation, which is the Luster Glass formulation, which is my favorite in the MAC lipsticks. That's Sea Sheer that I'm wearing now, and that's kind of a nicer red for me. It's softer, it's less, you know, in your face. So I don't know, I am gonna take it back, and I'm gonna get something a little bit different. I might get another Luster Glass formulation. I do have, thanks it's MAC already, I do have a few MAC lipsticks, and I don't want to get the same color I already have, because I'm not one of those, I don't like to back up lipsticks. You know, it's like, it is what it is. If I see a lipstick I like, I'll get it. I'm not going to get 2 of it, unless it's at TJ Maxx, you know, something, and it's $10 or something. I'll do that. But so yes, thank you for your help with that, and I really appreciate it. The biggest flop is I had been told by some of you that the text and the lettering that I had over the top of my Natasha Denona palette, when I was talking about Natasha Denona, I was talking about this palette, and I had Danessa Myricks' name over my head. So big tech whiz me goes on to the YouTube studio, and I tried to put a blur over Natasha Denona's adversary's name there, Danessa Myricks. I tried to have a blur go over Danessa Myricks and then have everything else show. Well, I didn't know how to use the app correctly. It wound up blurring my face, the corner, all the other words that were in this half-hour block of time, and I thought, oh my god, I've ruined the video. So I had to re-upload the video. I'm so sorry. You're probably saying, why is she putting up the same video, and where'd my comments go? So when you take down a video, all the comments go with it. I'm so sorry, and I did read each and every one of your comments, and I did answer all of them. I hope everybody got their answers. So this video is going up at the same time as the new version of that video, so they'll both be kind of hitting you at the same time, and you go, I think that's the one I just saw. The difference is there's a white border around the thumb. That's all I could do to make them look different. So that's why I had to re-upload it, because I had blur marks all over the video. It just came up wrong because I didn't know how to use the video technical stuff. So anyway, hopefully that's been helpful for you, and back to my older self. Those are my fails for this month, so let me get back to myself, my future self, talking about all the good stuff. Take care. It's funny what hair does and makeup can do, and a backdrop that has different colors in it can do for lighting and that sort of thing. It's amazing. Anyway, that was me from 2 weeks ago, so here I am to sign off. Thank you so much for your feedback. I do read all your comments, and I do feel very connected with all of you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Normally I put my faves and my flops together in one video, but it would have made it well over 2 hours, and I can't put you through that. So this is the second part of that. I don't believe there are any links for these products. I just have the products listed. Because they're not recommended, I don't have links for them. I don't want to link a product that I don't recommend. So some people do that. I'm like, really? You just talk trash about this thing, but yet you've got a link to it. Well, okay. Anyway, everybody, you have a safe week, and have a beautiful day. Take care. Toodles.